I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes your idea bright. The same spark that lights the dark so that you can know your left from your right. I am the ballad in your box, the bullet in the gun, the inner glow to let you know to call your brother son. The story that just begun, the promise of what's to come. And I'ma remain a soldier till the war is won.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video. I just got done recording another video, but we're not going to talk about that. And now we are going to talk about, as there was a car flying through my front house, through the front of my house. I can't speak. Okay, look. I've said this time and time again, right? Michael Jackson should have a movie. He should. He should have a movie. He should have a movie that should capitalize everything in his life, or at least almost everything in his life. Michael Jackson deserves a film. That's what he deserves. He deserves a film. Whether you like him or not, he deserves a film. I feel like that we should get a film showcasing everything, every aspect of his life, every trial, every tribulation. We need it. We need it. We need to show how Michael Jackson really and honestly truly was from his perspective and his family and his friends' perspective. We need an in-depth personal look. One that's not going to disrespect him. One that's not going to make him look like an idiot. One that's not going to slander him in any way, shape, or form. Just one honest project. Not one made for money. Not one made for publicity. We need a Michael Jackson film that showcases everything in the most honest way. That's what we need. That's what we need. We need to do this while the family is still here because they're getting old in age. We need this while we're here. So, let me tell you how I would make this movie. Well, I probably can't tell you every detail, but I'll tell you how I will structure it, right? So, right, hold on. I had gotten a phone call, but this is how I would structure the Michael Jackson film. Honestly, I would split it up into parts. There's too much of the Michael Jackson story that is only in one 2.5 hour movie. That's BS. That shouldn't happen. I feel like if we get a Michael Jackson movie, we should get it in around 3 parts, maybe 2. But the reason why I do say 3 parts, because there is so much to go through. You can't just do it in 2 parts. Like, there's so much to go through. And it needs to be 2 hours each. Yes, I know that might be a lot for a lot of people to digest, but hear me out. We've seen it with the New Edition story, with the Bobby Brown story. You know what I'm saying? With the Temptations, with the old Jacksons, American Dream. We've seen them do extremely long biopics. They need to do something similar to Michael Jackson, or if not the same. The first part of this 3 parts Michael Jackson movie would be the Jacksons. Would be when he was a child, which would deal with his abuse, which would deal with his trauma, not just the music, but all of his mental issues, all of his inner issues. That's what I would do. You know what I'm saying? All the Motown stuff. And it would lead all the way up to, I would say, Off the Wall or Thriller, somewhere around there. That's where it could end at. But I don't know. There's a lot of material in between there as well. But this is what I would do, right? I would definitely start when he was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Where we discover him singing for the first time. When we discover him dance for the first time. His inspirations. His abuse, of course. His inner emotions. His problems, his mental issues with his face, how we could see how what happened when he was a kid made him who he was when he was an adult. That means his face. We dig into that, his insecurities. We dig into the vitiligo. We got to deal into everything. We need to dig into everything so that the public will no longer have all these misconceptions about who he was. It needs to be an honest project. It has to be. And it doesn't need to be on streaming. It needs to be in the theaters. If Corona is not here no more, that's what it needs to do. And then in the middle, we could see like the brothers, him and his brothers kind of split from Motown. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe that's like a quarter away in the end of the film. You know what I'm saying? Then we go through the Off the Wall era in this movie. In the first part, you know. We could see him recording Don't Stop Till You Get It Up. Him getting with Quincy Jones. We could see it all. We could see it all. And then the ending could be when the Thriller era is over. And the ending could be like, I don't know, the Pepsi commercial. You know, the hair on fire thing. We could see how we dealt with that. Or at least that could be a cliffhanger or something for the next part. I don't know. But his first nose surgery. Yeah, there's so much that could really be dealt with in that first part. But that is really the gist of the first part. You know, it'll be the Off the Wall era. No, the Thriller. Kid Michael and Thriller era. And the Thriller era, we could also showcase him finally becoming the A-lister solo artist he was. So, this is how I would do part 2. Right? Okay, so part 2, honestly, is gonna have to deal with the allegations. But before then, this is what I would do. I would start it off with the bad era. And we could see how Michael was becoming lighter and much more differently in the face, of course. And we're going to have to end it around the time, I would say, Invincible. No, I don't know, maybe in the middle of history. I don't know, the history era. But, you know, I would say the bad tour, the bad era. We got to see how that was. And how he really was doing during his first solo tour. You know what I'm saying? With the last part, we would see his relationships with his family and him with Quincy Jones. And like we just already, I just covered that. But right here, I would say we're going to have to do with bad. And the problems that he had in his relationship with Quincy Jones as well. We can see that because I heard their relationship wasn't that strong in the bad era. But, you know, we could see him turning on lighter, see him deal with vitiligo more, see how he does the makeup. And you know what I'm saying? And, you know, the bad era is my favorite personal Michael Jackson era. But we're going to have to move on right quick. I'm sorry. There is a lot they could do with the bad era, but I think the Dangerous era really needs to be discussed. Right? So the Dangerous era, you know, we can start it out with him being, of course, vitiligo fully transformed over him, and the media speculating we could do all that, of course. And then, of course, you know, the world is really speculating how weird Michael Jackson really is, how people think, the public opinion on Michael Jackson. We need to keep that in mind, that we need to keep the public opinion of Michael Jackson throughout this movie. That's what we need. We need to keep that up. All right. So, you know, the Dangerous era, and we could see the allegations. We could see how they get introduced. We need the allegations to hit us. That's what we need. Because let me tell you something. I don't think that there's a win-win situation when it comes to dealing with the allegations, right? Hear me out. If we portray Michael as innocent, right? We portray him as innocent. Then you're going to have a lot of people on this side being like, yo, how could you do that? How can you portray such a disgusting man as a... But if we portray him as guilty, right? You're gonna have a lot of other people on the other side of the spectrum being like, bro, what? He was not guilty. This dude was innocent the entire time. He didn't deserve that. What? Man, I don't like this move. It's a lose-lose situation in my opinion, right? But the truth needs to be revealed. Everything needs to be revealed. Of course, I don't believe he's guilty. How many times have I said this? I don't really believe he's guilty at all. But portray this in the most honest way possible to the people that knew him and that was around him. I want this to be honest. I don't believe he's guilty. And you better portray all the facts and evidence. Y'all seen Michael Jackson Square One? Portray that. Put that in the movie. But yeah, we need to hit those allegations hard. We need to hit those allegations hard, and how he deals with them emotionally, how he's feeling. We need to see everything. How the media portrayed him. We need to see everything, everything, everything. And then after the allegations, I feel the allegations need to be piece by piece, and then after the allegation, we need to see how he deals with them afterwards. We need to see how he's writing music. I always did wonder that, like, how was he really writing music? Because when we listen to the History album, he just throwing punches at the media, Tom Stanton, the DA. He's throwing punches everywhere. So I feel like that we really need to dive into Michael Jackson's mental health after the allegations, even during. Because, you know, he was very humiliated, of course, and these were just the first ones. So, yeah, and his relationship with Jordy Chandler and other kids alike, we need to see that. We need that in the film. And, yeah, and then the ending could be history. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see Janet Jackson come back and be cast. I would love to see them do a Scream. You know, a Scream music video. That would be so dope. But, yeah. All right, and that's part 2. You know, I feel like that would be a dope part 2 if they could really do that. You know what I'm saying? I want to see his relationship with, Lisa Marie Presley. We need to see that. And, yeah. The last part. Oh my goodness, I don't know how you do this in just 3 parts. Like, there's still so much that can be discussed. But, right, in the last part, we're going to need to dive into his drug abuse even more. You know, we all knew that he had drug problems after the Pepsi commercial, and that needs to be addressed too, is the drug problems with the Pepsi after the Pepsi commercial. But we need to dive into his state of mind even more, because you could tell after those allegations hit, you know, he was never really, I guess, the same. You know what I'm saying? He was still the lovable Michael, I guess, that we all, I guess, knew and loved. But he just wasn't there much. But you could kind of see it in pictures that he just wasn't really living. He just wasn't really living right. We need to see that in the film, too, how much of a guinea pig he really was to, you know, the music industry. We need to see how he attacks Sony, and we need to see how he attacked the music industry. And, you know, remember when he bought the Beatles catalog? I would love to see that conversation. Let's do that too. Yeah, so the last part into his death, we need to see how he was dealing with at the time. I mean, we got Blood on the Dance Floor, of course. We got that era. Got the Invincible era. And around the time of the Invincible era, we need to see the problems Michael had with Sony and his contracts. That's what we really need to see, because I know that Michael and Sony, they have problems within their contracts, and yeah, that was an issue. That was a big issue when Michael had a whole tirade, or a whole like movement dedicated to kind of trashing Sony. And yeah, and that was a tough battle between him and Tom Mottola, the leader of Sony Music, and he kept trying to get on his contract, and we need to see that conflict. That's what I would love to see. And remember Michael Jackson 25th anniversary or 30th anniversary, you know, the day before September 11th, the last time he was on stage with his brothers. I would love to see that. And then the next day 9/11 happened. We need to see, because Michael Jackson was supposed to be in the World Trade Center at 9/11, and he wasn't because he slept late. And I would love to see how he dealt with that, like knowing that he almost died. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, fast forward maybe like a year or two later, I want to see this Living with Michael Jackson. I want to see how they dealt with that. I really do want to see. I want to see, because Martin Bashir was with Michael Jackson for at least like a year, maybe like just 6 months. But we need to see the conflict with that. We need to see everything. That's what we do need to see. We need to see how Gavin Arvizo, we need to see them second allegations. And those second allegations Now, though, that really hit Michael. I think that really hit Michael the most clearly because, well, the media had a horrendous circus around that, and I think that definitely needs to be discussed. It does. And how he dealt with that, of course. And, yeah. Get the whole truth of that one, too. We need the truth about everything. And need to see the last few years. Now, after the case, after that, we need to see after everything. That's what we need to see. And we need to see all the events leading up to his death. We need to see him going broke, his relationship with his kids. I didn't mention that in the beginning of this part. In the beginning of the last part, we need to see his relationship with his kids, with his children. Like that baby dangle thing, we need to see that, of course, unfortunately. We need to see everything. And, yeah, and all the events leading up to his death. His drug use, Conrad Murray needs to get introduced. Michael's relationship with his family, of course, I still want to see that. His mental issues at the time, because, come on now. I feel like Michael just was not thinking straight at the end. And we need to see the public opinion on him. We need to see everything. That's what I feel like. We need to see everything. How he danced, how he sung. We need to see everything. And then everything up to his death. And we need to see how the family was afterwards. We need to see the aftermath of his death a little bit too. We need to get an aftermath. We need to see that. And that's the end of the Michael Jackson story. Wow. Who can they get to cast? I have no clue. I am so serious. I have no clue on who would they get to cast Michael Jackson. There has to be somebody that can really embody him. That can really, truly embody what Michael Jackson was. The looks, I don't know how they're going to do the looks. I really don't know. I don't know how they're going to do that. I really am not sure. I mean, like, look, Michael went through so many different phases. Like, 10 years apart, Michael looks so different. Like, bad era to history era. That Michael had so many changes at the time. And that's going to be really difficult to really capture on screen. The nose, the cheekbones, the skin, of course. Like, I don't know how they're going to do that. How they're going to do Thriller Mike and History Mike. History Mike. Like, we need it. We need it all. If they got to cast 2 different actors to do it, then so be it. We got to get teenager Mike. We got to get kid Mike. We got to get different Michaels. And I don't know how who are they going to get to play him? I don't know. I'm sure it's not going to be no Flex Alexander type thing. I'm sure as heck that's not going to happen. That better not happen. That's disrespectful. No disrespect to Flex, though, because Flex, I like Flex. Flex is actually a cool guy. But him, Michael Jackson, come on now. Y'all could have done better than that. But, yeah, that is the Michael Jackson story. I feel like they should title it The Michael Jackson Story or The Real Michael Jackson Story or something like that. The media will attack this film. I don't know if the fans are going to critique it like crazy. So y'all better get y'all stuff together. The dancing and the singing that needs to be done great. The dancing and singing needs to be done great. I don't know if they should use just Michael Jackson's voice or they should have somebody else sing. Matter of fact, just use Michael's voice. Save yourself the disrespect. The unintentional disrespect. The dancing needs to be great. We need the great performances. I feel like that we need to recreate a lot of these music videos. I'm going to be real. They need to recreate music videos. I would love on performances and tours. I would love to see them recreate some of this stuff. I would love to see that. I would love to see them recreate some of this stuff. We need to see Michael's thinking process, Michael's writing process, Michael's everything process. That's what they need to show. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you guys kind of get the gist. We need to get great stuff in this biopic. Alright? Alright. So this video went on for quite a while, and I hope that y'all had a great time. I really do. I really hope y'all had a great time today. Alright, so yeah, what do y'all think? How would y'all make a Michael Jackson movie? Would y'all not make a Michael Jackson movie? Would y'all say, no, I don't want no disrespect, just don't make the movie in general? What do y'all believe? Because making a Michael Jackson movie has to be the hardest thing to really do if you're making a movie about an artist. Alright? So, yeah.